We're gonna burn it down.
Hey, beautiful people of the internet. How are you guys doing today? Hopefully great. And welcome to Budget Builds, where we use zero Forma and achieve maximum efficiency. In today's video, we're going to be taking a closer look at Titania, aka the Queen of the Fairies. Now, if you guys are a fairy tale fan, this is basically Urza Scarlet. Now, I've already covered Titania in a previous video that happened eons ago. However, I don't mind doing updated versions to this particular one. However, if you guys would like to have more detail on how, Titania works, and of course it is being made by me, there'll be a link down in the description, and of course there'll be a link to the top right. Other than quality, you don't mind take a look at the video, as the information still is solid. But before I continue with the video any further, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys would like to support me or the channel any further, remember to leave a like, and also don't forget to spark and click the subscribe button for more Warframe videos and streams. Without further ado, let's get this one on the road, shall we? So here is Titania, and of course we are only going to be prioritizing one particular build or one particular ability, and that is Razor Wing. Now I do want you guys to answer this question for me. What is better than one mini Uzi? Two mini Uzis, one for each hand, double the destruction. Now, that's exactly what Razor Wing does offer you. You've got two mini Uzis, or the Dex Pixia, which is an akimbo based SMG, which deals very high damage, which does have infinite ammo. However, the one downside to this is you have to pause, as the ammo does run out. However, you have to pause for a second, and then you'll quickly regenerate your ammo, getting back to the combat. Now, when it comes to Razor Wings mode, you also do get a signature melee weapon. However, you're not going to be using that at all, because let's be honest about one thing. Why would you go and use a melee weapon which requires effort, which is also a lot more risky, over the Dex Pixia, which is basically sit back, relax, most brain dead mode you can ever do. Go and clear out the rooms and you'll have no problems whatsoever. Just like me, I'm a lazy person. I'm sure you guys who are watching, you're also lazy people. We all are here in this together. So next up is we do have all of these abilities, and trust me, because of Razor Wing, you're not really going to be using any of these abilities. Really, the only time you're going to be using it is because you want to go and enhance Razor Wing. So let me explain. As you guys can see, it says your Razor Wing Blitz. This is an augment which basically makes you move and shoot relatively faster. However, the more power strength you guys have, the much more potent it will be. I'll explain that later on in the video. So here's the build for Titania, and of course, as you guys can see, we haven't invested any Forma onto this build whatsoever, because that's how we like to go and roll. So starting off with our aura, we have Growing Power, Augur Secrets, Intensify, and and Transient Fortitude for more power strength. Now, the more power strength we have, the more damage output our Dex Pixia will go and deal. We also have Fleeting Expertise for more efficiency, Prime Continuity, and Augur Message for more duration. Now, one little pro tip that I do want to tell you guys is, whenever you guys are dealing with an Exalted based ability, whether it's Titania's Dex Pixia, Baruch's, his number 4, I don't know what's it called off the top of my head, or even Excalibur's Exalted based ability or Exalted Blade, you're always going to be dealing with energy per second drain. Now, basically, if you guys want to go and lower that energy per second per drain, you always want to make sure that you have combining duration along with efficiency. Let me show you guys an example. So as you guys can see, Razor Wing, if you guys take a look at the very bottom, just above Razor Wing Blitz, it'll tell you energy per second. As you guys can see, if you guys make this exact build, you'll have 1.25 energy drain per second. However, if I go and remove Prime Continuity, take a look at it again, and as you guys can see, it says 1.48. That basically means now, instead of taking like 1.25 energy per second, I'm now going to be taking up 1.48 energy per second. And trust me, because it's an Exalted based ability, we always want to make sure that we have it active for as long as humanly possible, because we always want to make sure that we have an edge in Warframe. So make sure that you guys are always prioritizing Prime Continuity, Augur Message, and combining it with Fleeting Expertise. However, Streamline is an option, and one thing I do want to say is regular continuity definitely does work. However, during this time of making this video, Tennocon is tomorrow, Tennocon is tomorrow, and if you guys did go and buy the digital ticket, you'll have access to an exclusive relay where Barracuda will bring his entire inventory. That basically means that tomorrow is the day, or this weekend is a time or opportunity to go and acquire your version of Primed Continuity. However, if you guys watching this video in the future, regular continuity definitely does come in handy. Next up is we do have narrow-minded, therefore we have even more duration and less range. Now we don't want to worry too much about our range because we're always going to be using dex picks here. The amount of range is purely based off of, you know, how good you are or how accurate you currently are. And of course you don't have to worry about range too much because we are going to be moving at high speed, so getting up close and personal will be no issue for Titania whatsoever. And of course the main contender is an augment called Razor Wing Blitz. So basically what happens is if you guys are in your Razor Wing mode, you guys will increase your speed and of course your firing accuracy by 25%, which does stack up to 4 times. Now the amount of power strength you have will determine how much, you know, increase you guys will get. So let me explain. So as you guys can see, I have 209% power strength, and if you take a look at Razor Wing Blitz, instead of me getting 25% extra, you know, rate of fire, I'm going to be getting 52%. However, this 52% isn't really being considered with growing power. If you guys go and activate growing power, you'll have 58% of each. 58% times 4, that's exactly how much, you know, speed and fire rate you will be going and getting. Now let's say that you got, oh yeah, before I continue with the arcanes department, I do want to talk about Aviator. So as you guys can see, Aviator does reduce our damage by 40% when airborne. Because we're going to be playing as Titania and we're going to be taking full advantage of Razor Wing, then we're always going to have this 40% reduce in damage. So when you guys are playing as Razor Wing, or when you guys are playing as, you know, Dex Pixia, you're always going to have a 50%, or the enemies are always going to miss you by 50%. It's a very good, you know, damage reduction based ability. However, it doesn't make you entirely immortal as Wukong used to be. So it's always advised to have Aviator because less damage the better, because as you guys know, Titania is very, very, very squishy. Now in the arcanes department, listen ladies and gentlemen, if you guys don't have arcanes, it's no big deal. This particular build will still work. It's just, you know, you won't be able to decimate the enemies that quickly, and of course you won't have some ridiculous flight speed. So I'm going to be rolling around with Arcane Velocity. Arcane Velocity will allow our Dex Picks here to have 120% rate of fire. More rate of fire equals more damage output, just like how Mesa's regulators work. And of course we do have Arcane Precision, which gives us 250% damage for 18 seconds on our secondary weapon. Now as for the Dex Pixia Prime, here is what we have. So when you guys go and take a look at the Dex Pixia Prime, you'll see that you have a 25% stage chance with a 10% critical chance. Trust me, we still are going to be building this weapon for crit, even though it's got a very, very, very low critical chance. However, the crits are definitely worth it, especially if you guys go and add Primed Pistol Gambit. So here's the build. We have Hornet Strike, Barrel Diffusion, and Lethal Torrent for our, you know, base damage, especially with Barrel Diffusion and Lethal Torrent giving us multi-shot and Hornet Strike giving us damage. Next up is we do have Magnum Force for even more damage to bear. But don't really worry about accuracy, because accuracy is one of those stats which doesn't really matter because you're always going to be up close and personal. And I mean, let's be honest about one thing, I'm not here to criticize DE in one way or another. However, accuracy isn't really something that you should really be concerned about, especially in Warframe, because the game isn't really that realistic when it comes to bullets and all that. And of course, we are going to be rocking with our whatever our elemental of choice is. In this case, we are going to be using Viral. In order to make Viral, you need to combine Cold and Toxin, therefore you're going to be getting Viral. Now I went with this dual stat 60% mods because remember, this is a status based weapon and therefore it is going to be prioritizing status, therefore that strength is status. And of course we are going to be rocking around with Primed Pistol Gambit. Yes, I understand 10% critical chance is something very small, I should not be prioritizing it. I understand it, but for some strange reason this does work. So go and add this because it seems like the critical chance on the Dex Pixia is just absolutely broken. It doesn't seem to work like how other weapons currently do work. Crit absolutely decimates on this weapon for some strange reason. But hey, this is not the be all to end all build. I'm just showing guys exactly how I think you guys should go and play. Remember, use my use my build as a reference to how you guys should be going and playing. So like I said earlier in the video, you don't really have to go and use the melee weapon, but just in case you guys would like to go and dabble around in that playstyle, here is a build focused around it. There's not really anything to talk about in terms of this. It's just the same as every other regular melee weapon out there. The only downside is you can't really add blood rush to this, because this is an exalted based melee weapon. You can't go and add many crit mods onto it, because I think DE probably, you know, deemed it too OP. So therefore here is basically what we can go and add. However, if you guys want to go and change the build, go and do so. I'm not going to talk too much about this particular build, because we're not going to be using melee weapons whatsoever. So as you guys can see, we're currently in the simulacrum, and of course I do want to show you guys exactly how to go and use this build and how powerful it can be. So what you guys want to do, go grab some energy, go up to enemies like so, and now we want to go and activate growing power. In order to do so, you then have to go and hit one enemy or an affected target with a stairs proc. So as you guys can see, we now have the stairs proc. Now we're going to go into our, you know, razor wing mode. Now we want to then activate one of our abilities 4 times. So like I said, I'm going to be using her number 1, that being spellbind. So that's 1, that's 2, that's 3, that's 4. Now we've got all the buffs. Now just watch the enemies get decimated. So don't blink. And ladies and gentlemen, that's all. As you guys can see, all of these enemies just got absolutely annihilated. And on top of all of that high rate of fire, we also do have an increase to our speed. So I do want to show you guys exactly how fast it is before, you know, I end off the video. So I'm going to do this one more time. So ability activate, growing power, do this 4 times. And you can see the rate of fire is absolutely quick. However, you have to make sure that, you know, you're paying attention to your magazine capacity. And as you guys can see, this is the speed at which you are going, especially if you guys decide to go and sprint. It absolutely looks buggy as hell, right? Am I telling you? Now, if you guys want to move this fast, all you have to do is make sure that you're in this mode and just start sprinting. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, that's all for today's video. If you guys have liked the video or it's helped you guys out in any way or form, remember to leave a like, and also don't forget to click the subscribe button for more Warframe videos and streams. I'm Make Like a Banana and Split. See you guys at Tennocon. I'm probably going to do the stream live while Tennocon is currently live streamed. Anyways, I'm out. Peace. See you guys tomorrow.